Hey guys, here is another nightly market recap session. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, first and foremost, let me just actually go through a few things. Number one, I forgot to mention this yesterday. There was a Roundhill meme stock ETF that was newly newly launched in the scheme of the moment. Of course, what do we have? Meme ETF. Look, you want to gamble, just throw your money. You've got something else for you to throw your money. Let me just read this quickly. So it's a reboot of a product the company launched in 2021 at the height of the meme stock craze. What's going on now? They've sensed another opportunity of a money grab. Could it mark the top for the stock market? Its first launch coincided with the top for the Nasdaq Composite. By the time it closed 2 years later, the index has crashed about 10%. So it undercuts investors' appetite for strong momentum and high volatility or high beta plays on the stock market. It also shows that Wall Street is taking seriously the impact of retail investors as a collective force in the stock market. Look, I think you cannot underemphasize the importance of retail in the market. So the meme ticker is reborn, but it's a little different in composition this time. For instance, it relies less on social media activity and short interest than before. So this time, it's looking more for options market data to suggest which stocks have the highest implied volatility. It will be rebalanced at least once a week. Out goes GameStop and AMC. It comes with a new breed of meme names, though not always the most obvious. Unsurprisingly, perhaps the holdings in the ETF are among the most popular stocks traded by retail clients, such as Open Door Technologies, Bitmine Immersion Technologies, Iron and a bottle of computing stocks. Oh, come on, what's obvious? Oh, isn't that obvious? There's also room for innovative energy stocks like Plug Power and Oklo. They tap into the trend for growing AI energy demand. Some of the stocks tap into retail-focused trends such as crypto and quantum computing. Some could be argued to be a meme stock or to be meme stocks, but really these are high beta, high volatility stocks that move a lot. Some of the new stocks could be Krispy Kremes, GoPro, and Kohl's. They haven't made the cuts, for example, but presumably that's down to a lack of, high IV, which move fast in the mainland. This mostly driven by options we said. So I said. So it shines a light on where the growing contingent of active retail traders are looking next. There are some interesting new names in the meme space, and we shall. I'm gonna put the list out in a minute. So there's a clear evidence the AI crypto energy nexus is at work. So we've got Poet Technologies is the latest meme craze. The share jumped 17% yesterday after popping 23% on Tuesday. Its optical communication tech is designed to increase the speed of data transmission in AI data centers. It's always AI, isn't it? It's also been the most positively mentioned ticker on Reddit and Wall Street bets, I guess. So Cypher Mining builds and operates industrial scale data centers for Bitcoin mining and high performance computing. HPC hosting, it's posted a year-to-date gain of 265% after rallying nearly 12% yesterday. Bloom Energy obviously makes solid oxide fuel cells for data centers and it has risen 275% year to date, jumping after it signed a power generation deal with Oracle in July. So let me share my screen and I'm going to share the list of the meme stocks. So again, the, it's not exactly driven by the meme craze as it was in 2021, but this time around, it's looking at the options activity. So let me just share my screen and I'll paste the list right here. Hold on a second and we shall see. Where is the snip? I bet you can't wait. This is crazy. I mean, everyone and their mother's been calling for the stock market top right now. Well, not exactly their mother, but almost everyone has been saying, look, it's just too easy right now. We all know making money isn't that easy. So let's see. And you can see their performance or the weighting as well. So, okay. So I'm not sharing my screen yet. Okay. So let me share my screen and then we'll post the list of the meme stocks. So if you feel like, do you know what? I feel like gambling today. Why not? And then you could be a part of the meme craze, I guess. Okay, fantastic. So normally I start off with with the cues, but this time around, this is something I thought I was going to share. And let's go. Okay, there you go. Sorry, my screen just froze for a quick second there. There you go. So I should, yeah, let me just unblur or flip the background. Amazing. Now, what do we have? We have the obvious movers of this 2025 craze of this market. And here they are. I'm not getting much joy in this today, am I? Okay, so cancel right now. Here it is. Okay, so we have APLD, which just did an amazing, I think it's just done about 10% after hours today because of they had a great earnings. I haven't gone into the details. We have ASTS and APLD is actually the biggest of the meme craze right now. So we have ASTS, we have Bloom Energy, Bitmine, Cypher. We oh wow, we've got HIMS, we've got IONQ, Iron, Joby, Oklo, Open, Plug, Poet, D-Wave, Quantum. So these are all Quantum and Newscape Power Core. So these are the meme craze. If you want to bet on a meme stock, then again, you can just go into this. And so that's literally how these I think what the performance was to oh sorry that's the weighting on the right, so you can see the weighting here as it says here, and that's the ticker. So if anyone feels like having a bet, you can just come in here and it gets rebalanced on a weekly basis. So it goes. Okay, so back to the market now. The market again, that we had a bit of a slow, slightly dip today, really. But don't get it wrong, the AI is still performing. So today, basically, a gentle dip. But what do we have? If you look at this two bars. So you can't, the market is fairly directionless between yesterday and today. So there's not a lot to say or to tell you apart. But the AI craze is not gone. Somebody put a message in the group said, NVIDIA all-time high. What do you mean we're topping? Well, there you go. That's NVIDIA 192. Look, can we just call for 200 right now? $200. You heard it first, right? Here first. Anyway, it's just a psychological number. Who knows how that might be? All right, Tesla as well today. I think yesterday I put a message in the group, said I was fairly bearish. Bearish, what's it called? Uber, because I think I tend to realize, of course, and I've learned this as well from some of these really great traders. Tesla and Uber, because they tend to anti-correlate against each other. So not Tesla's actually had an amazing run, but not exactly did Uber. I think Uber's always likewise had an amazing run. So next, like exactly that it is collapsing, but he had a slow day, and you can see this triple top, and it's actually been bearish slowly, sluggishly anyway. So that's Uber. Also, so how was today's market? Let's see. I was gonna say I should start off with my bread and butter, but we can start off with that. So hold on, just gonna find there's something I actually want to share. Okay, there you go. So the first and foremost is if you look at the if we look at cocoa. Cocoa wasn't amazing today. It was, I mean, cocoa's been it's shown great weakness the past few days. I was expecting a big lump drop on cocoa. That has not happened yet. But overall, over time, you could see this is clear to the blind man that cocoa is actually on a downtrend. I was expecting it to break this aggressively, but it hasn't. So we'll see how that plays. But again, I mean, I was expecting a dead cat bounce and then we could just slap on our shots, but that hasn't really happened. So on that note, we'll just stand by and see, is it going to make a bounce? Is it going to change the story or is it going to continue dumping? But for now, he hasn't really said anything. He's not doing anything and we just keep watching. So that's that one. Another one here is, look at that, GB, or GU, sorry. GU has been dumping aggressively. GU has been dumping aggressively. First and foremost, I've got to say, we had a really good news today with the markets and was it Israel and Palestine. They called a truce. It's the beginning of negotiation towards a peace deal. This is what we pray for in the world. We hope there's peace in the Middle East, and that would help us also likewise the entire world. I think this might put stability on oil prices, even though I believe that oil has actually been stable. And on the long term, I think oil is not being bullish, to be honest, generally. So if you're going to look left, that hasn't been great. But anyway, let's firstly talk about this one right here. So what do we have? GU long term is being, it just couldn't break this above. So are we definitely going to see now a break lower? I think so. I think this time, this is the time. Also, speaking of oil, crude oil. Yep, crude oil again. My line remains. We still cannot break above this. So obviously, what happened? It just couldn't go. So, and since crude oil couldn't break 62, there you go. It got sold off. But I don't think this has got anything to do with Israel Palestine today because Israel Palestine that actually has been in the works. This has been digested already. So this is just a brand new story with crude oil. So yes, we not expecting much. I'm not putting on a new position. I'm still looking for a break below 60, and then before I believe you can change the story. Also, serve. This is a great one today. We didn't exactly play this, but look, Serve had a deal with DoorDash. A deal with DoorDash is this is amazing. So where is he? I had just had a flash of yellow on my screen just now. Okay, they had a deal with DoorDash. Look, would you allow robots to deliver your food? I think that's the way the world is going. Anything robotics been amazing. Didn't really get into the details, but this is an amazing and a great play. Um, Also we had look at this. This was a Delta Airline, great earnings, and it pushed them further up. But we had a bit of a correlation with American Airlines as well, because Delta Airlines, I mean, they had to play sympathy. Wasn't much. Okay, so likewise, this transferred the joy onto American Airline, and let's see how that played. Airline's not really my thing. I rather prefer a trade on this. But I like the setup on American Airline. Trading view, come on, load. It's taking, it's taking you so long. So I like the trade on American Airline, and let's see what it says or what it is. So if you look on the long-term trend again, that's our core. Where is it again? American Airline, I believe it's just around the 12 zone. There you go. American. Okay, not a great deal with TradingView. I believe they tend to lag sometimes, so just bear with the patience. So normally AAL, there you go. So normally what you need to understand is when one of the leaders move, you do get some of the other players, they tend to move in sympathy with it as well. So yeah, I mean, because of the sluggishness in the market today, so American Airline didn't exactly had to go far. So I think the profits dried up with it, or the greens dried up with it, and then of course turned into blood. Also, Oklo, I mean, Oklo's made an impressively amazing run, and it's one of the biggest runs of 2025. But let's see what we saw here again, and we still had a contrarian call. Look, the contrarian call because I believe Oklo's run so much, but look, we had a new price target of 175. What can I say? This wouldn't see my money, but I've got to say, look, you keep buying or you keep trading with the trend. The trend says uptrend, and uptrend we go. Um, Also, there's quite a few things. I think Powell had a speech today, and Powell has also said that he would not be commenting on economic outlook or monetary policy, even though I would say he breached his protocol the last time he talked about the stock market, which is about 2 weeks ago, when he said it's fairly overvalued. I think maybe he didn't use the word over, but yeah. Also, NVO. They were buying, yeah, Novo Nordisk, they were buying Acro for, is it 54? Yeah, for 54. So this is very, very strong. I think it's well positioned. And but you got to say all health tech are looking similar like this. And at some point, these things will move. So I believe I mean, somebody said that investors have reached a new level of stupidity when it comes to building data centers for AI, literally, because everything, as long as it's got AI and data center, I believe we just got a lot more values than is provided really. Sorry, it's got more is washed with liquidity than the value it's supposed to get. Look, the capex, the plan on this, the valuation is just insane. But look, I showed a chart yesterday or a graph yesterday of how interwoven these things are. I don't know. Nobody knows what it's going to play like, but we're all building based on what we can see. There's also something I wanted to talk about, which is about patience, actually. And I read this from somewhere. I think it's very, there you go. Yeah, I think it's quite important actually to share it with you. So, right. So it's just a thoughts for the day, really. So if you're new, you've got to notice that the repeated, especially with us as a group, we keep talking about patience, 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 patience. So, you where is it again? Yes. So we keep talking about patience, and some of the things we do starts with a simple analogy, but now I think our positions, our strategy is grown into central teaching tools for our community. It's all about patience. Patience is one of the hardest skill for a trader to acquire and just as difficult to maintain. It applies in two different contexts. When the market is not good, we must not resist the urge to force trades. Just like a panda sitting calmly and waiting for food, we must wait for the right pitch instead of swinging at everyone. The absence of opportunity is not a signal to react, it's a signal to conserve. When we are ready in a position, even when we've entered the long setup. So I talk about when the market's not good. The second one is when we are ready in a position, even when the market is not we've not entered a strong setup. The market doesn't move in straight line. There are natural pullbacks, retests, and reaction days along the way. The skill is in staying composed, letting position and portfolio exposure work. As long as the trend remains intact and the daily or weekly structures hold, impatience often leads to selling too early, cutting off the very edge we worked so hard to find. Patience also applies to execution of our plan, trimming into strength a predetermined target rather than reacting emotionally and holding exposure when the trend supports it, rather than exiting at the first sign of red. Just as just Livermore puts it, it was never my thinking that made the big money for me. It was always my sitting. And again, men who can both be right and sit tight are uncommon. That's the essence of patient panda. It's a reminder that discipline and composure, they are more valuable than constant activity. The market rewards those who wait, who let trades and trends mature, far more than those who seek action for its own sake. So when you hear panda in any trade or in our trade, know that it's not just a mascot, it's a shorthand for one of the most important lessons that we aim to internalize. Be patient, stay composed, and let the markets come to you. So this is literally what we're doing. I mean, we mostly tend to swing trade really. Sometimes the Christmas comes too early, but that's what we do. We've got experienced traders and you've got newbies, everyone teaching one and getting one along. So it's a sneaking into a trader's pod, which is what we do really. So when you can see, you can execute and you can discuss. We talk about the rear view mirror check, and you can interact, you ask questions. So education, mentoring, all these things come along. And that's literally how we do. Sometimes, like I said, intraday, it comes in early. Sometimes it doesn't. We look at the macros, we look at the risk factor, and we pay attention to the sentiment. And there's some things you just cannot check. Some people even talk about the gut feel. We don't just base on hope. You've got to understand how this market works. Okay. I hope everyone has a good day. Tomorrow is another day in the market, and then we'll take it again from there. Enjoy. Take care. And tomorrow's Friday. It's the last trading day of the week. So let's make it a great week. Have a good